Oh, it was up on a fire in Washington, and we had an Inuit crew come in, and we worked real close with them for a few days, and they're pretty quiet at first, and so it kind of takes a while to get to know these guys. And there was an older gentleman on the crew that was just, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain this guy. He was just I guess he was literally the grandfather of a couple people on the crew, but you could tell he was just sort of like grandpa to everybody. And yeah, just had a lot of stories and stuff, and funny guy. But one of the things I think I was telling you is just he kept asking us, when do we eat the bear, and what time of year do we eat the bear, and what kind of bear do we eat? And it was, we don't eat the bear, and he just couldn't get that. It's funny, and he kept laughing at us, saying, eventually I just, I think we were just like, white people don't know how to eat, and he laughed about that. He thought it was pretty hilarious. It's true. And he started going through then all of his cuisines that that they had, and from the fermented fish eggs and the Yupik ice cream and the stuff. And so and I guess I'll probably get this one wrong, but he told me I needed to make some Yupik ice cream, which I guess is it's ice. It's like either I think he said moose fat, might have been bear fat, berries, and whatever berries are fresh, and salt. And that's their Yupik ice cream, and said I really needed to try that. I haven't yet. Stayed away from the Yupik ice cream, but maybe someday. He kept talking about the fermented fish eggs being such a delicacy and how much he loved them and stuff. And then she came up to me on the side. She said, "We don't eat those anymore." And I was like, and she said, "Well, my uncle died." And I went, really? And she's like, "Yeah, it's we try not to eat those anymore, but it's sort of a generational thing, and so the older folks are still doing it, but apparently you don't eat the fermented fish eggs, so I'll probably stay away from those as well." Some of the most impactful moments probably on fire are coming through and having that first really good meal after working hard, and you come back and you're hoping that the caterer did it right that night, or whatever it is. And I've had some good ones and I've had some bad ones, and it's awesome. But there are times out there when the worst MREs taste good, so that's I guess it's just sort of par for the course, and we know that when we go out there. The lunches are real impactful too. What a morale booster that is, or a morale killer. If that's not done right, if you open up your lunch and it's just gross, or it's not very good, or you get one and there's lots of fresh fruit in there, and good snacks and stuff to can definitely build you up at the worst of times. But food makes a huge impact on you.